was the main concept behind this house and why did you design
The
this?
way I did. So the key thing that influenced me the most in my passion to really until today, like never ending passion with architecture, right, is because I visited a lot of buildings. Right? So also I wanted the house that will work with the environment. Like yesterday I'm trying to say, the word I use is that in keeping with nature, or like you always live with the rhythm of the day. Like let's say suddenly the cloud go and over the sun and overcast, right? Inside here you feel it immediately. So that is the beginning point. Number two is also I feel that tropical living, that aside the passive aspect, but I want a house that have a certain philosophical grounding in a way that actually tie in with how I want my family to live, so that it will come together, become a house that everyone is comfortable with. Basically, the concept of the house, the intention, the aim is to create a very comfortable house, intimate house, right? And sit well in nature. The concept was downstairs with my working space, and more public to wear shoe inside. When we come up here is a family area, right? So here and above is a family area. The only opening I have is actually, apart from this tall tower, is actually facing that. So the openness is there. The philosophical backing is that I wanted the whole place to be feel very protected. Passive design-wise is that, like, for example, I have a very thick wall but it's well shaded, so it always becomes a thermal mass. So concept-wise, basically a house that lives with our choice and comfortably so.
May I know which passive strategy has the biggest impact?
I would say it's the openness. Like for example, you can see that I don't even have window. You see the air will move right through from here, right through the house. So that to me, in fact, for tropical, in terms of passive approach, that's one large aspect. So, but I think the biggest strategy that I put on this house is probably the house ventilation, all over. And the other one would be like natural light, that I would definitely allow sunlight to come. And then the best sunlight for our eye is actually the natural sunlight. Later we can walk out to the deck and I call the sunset deck. Let us sleep outside. I call it the sunset deck. This is north, right? This is west, right? Where I'm facing here, I get quite well shaded here. Right? It's sub north, when next 6 months it will move here. Right? So what it does is that you actually have a very interesting space. Everything is always different. So whenever we talk about the strategy of passive design, I never think of the passive design in isolation. I will look at it holistically as a human experience. So I think, back to the passive design is orientation, cross ventilation. As a general rule, I like my kitchen to have some east. Just I put it outside back there, give some light to the east. Why? Morning sun, like 8 o'clock, it's very gentle. Right? I would design for experience, we use the sunlight for morning breakfast experience. Right? Brighter, yes. It does like that. I want to wake up to something like that. Like morning light, but my son might hate it. They want it totally black out until 12 o'clock. So I wouldn't force it, I will never force it on my children or even when I design for my client. So relationship with the sun, I would say, even with for a master bedroom, I want a lot of sun for the top to sort of wake me up early in the morning. I think I would say in terms of moderating the sun, right, and also allow air to move in, I would say timber, because they are of different sizes as you see. So when I use it like this one 20 by 50, so it allows a gap, so it's moderate the sun and then give me some privacy, but the air will still move right through. My selection of material, I tend to use local material. For the bigger picture or all this passive design or whatever, we have a greater goal, it's called sustainability. Right? And timber will be the best because the only that you can plant back. Whereas if I use concrete, right, the steel I have to exhaust from the resources that we have. Concrete you cannot rebuild, it definitely timber win hands down number one for me. And then the brick, like for example, like what I said, is a bigger picture of sustainability. Why? Why locally? Less transport, less carbon emission, less embodied energy. Also, there's one Filipino architect also say something very interesting. He said, material to an architect is like a medicine to a doctor. Right?
How does this house reduce the environmental impact?
Environment impact, I would say the immediate one would be I use less aircon. Some of the space, I would say 85% of my spaces no aircon. Right? Even in my office also, my wife sometimes like to use aircon. Right? But unless I have a private meeting, I have to close everything. So I would say the energy use is much less when you have the entire majority of the place well ventilated. The use of material, right? The entire place is local. For a very simple reason, for me it's cheaper. Things I use locally, you tend to feel the identity. So it becomes a cultural thing, it's already embedded in the culture. So I grew up in an airconless space. So my ultimate impact would be like, it is zero energy, right? In terms of running it, right? To create something zero carbon, I think it's very tough. Wood is also embedded in carbon, right? So, but zero energy, I think it's highly possible.
What were the biggest challenges during the design of construction?
Like what I say, this house is highly experimental. I was in Australia for about 10 years. So I exposed to a totally different environment. The one, my key thing that I come across, I come back, we already got a house, we work there, have a bit of money, then we put down payment, and then come back, our house finished, USD 6 terrace house, 1.5 floor. And suddenly one day, the water tank leaked. I woke up, we were sitting, oh my goodness, all the timbers seem to be hantam one, you know. So I said, this house, my construction should celebrate whatever limitation that we have. So I don't use expensive brick, but every brick is very placed in, and then it's recessed on the joint. So you can see my house that grew up from the ground. It's not framed up and then put brick inside. Sort of gradually, brick by layer by layer. Like this one is actually, you see the brick is not cut. So you actually have steel at the center that coming up to get the lateral. Because brick is good at compression, they are not good at lateral. So all this property, I want to express it. So this one cannot do without steel, but the steel cannot do without the brick. All the brick they are doing work. They are carrying load. Not decoration. I want every piece of brick to be respected when you put it inside. You call it honesty in construction, honesty in material. Construction to me is very important. We cannot take all the credit. We are the one who specify, we detail. The contractor will build it up. Construction is very critical in the structure. Like for example here, you see even the corner of the beam is actually chamfered. The one is exposed. So it is a philosophy. Construction to me is architecture. It's an integral part, right? Structure and construction, they should come together.